Hello everyone, welcome to the ADA Reasonable Accommodations Overview.
My name is Judith Spain, and I'm the Georgia Independent College Association Compliance Collaborative Program Consultant.
And my name is Jennifer Loggins, and I'm the Learning Center Director and Disability Service Provider for Brenau University.
Today we're going to talk about reasonable accommodations. In general, colleges and universities must provide equally effective alternate access to electronic and information technology for students with disabilities. Effective alternative access is determined based upon timeliness of the delivery, accuracy of translation, and delivery in a manner or medium appropriate to the disability of the individual student. Colleges and universities must ensure that any new technology which is being made available to the student must be accessible to students who have disability and students who do not have disabilities. If such new technology is commercially available and its purchase does not result in undue financial or administrative burdens or fundamental alterations, then the university must proceed that process. Faculty must create all instructional material and online courses to be fully accessible to individuals with disability as well as individuals who do not have disability. So Brenau University faculty members who are creating instructional materials and online courses need to be aware that students with disabilities, as well as students without disabilities, need to be able to have access to the same instructional material as all students. Now I'd like to turn it over directly to Jennifer. She's going to talk more specifically about Brenau University accommodations.
So you may be wondering what sort of accommodations are common. You may have seen quite a few letters of accommodations from students and see often the extended time accommodation or the reduced distraction environment. These are by far the most common accommodations. Typically it's 1.5 times. So if typically the most students get 60 minutes for the test, the student with extended time would then get an extra 30 minutes. Creating the quiet, reduced distraction environment could take place at the Learning Center, or it could take place in an adjacent office. Exams can also be read by test readers or C-Pen assistive technology. Students may have low vision or blindness and may use assistive technology to type out or dictate answers. So tests should be scheduled at the same time or as close to the regular exam time as possible. However, altered times will be needed in some cases. For example, if a student has back-to-back classes and the accommodated exam with extra time would be bleeding into that second class, then we can arrange for the student to test at an alternate time. The alternate time may also take place because there's a lecture afterwards that the student should never be forced to miss because they're trying to exercise their accommodation. So we do encourage faculty to work with the Learning Center to ensure that no lecture time is missed and that the student is able to take their test in the way that works best. There also may be assistants such as readers or scribes. If a student has broken both of their arms and they cannot type or write, then we can assign someone that can assist them. Some other accommodations that you may notice would be an enlarged font. We may ask you to provide the test on paper in a larger font. Reduced distraction environment, of course, as we noted earlier. The use of voice recognition software. Option to mark answers on the exam with a large circling the answer. Some students may not be able to fill in a Scantron, and so Learning Center staff would assist, or the professor could assist. Taking restroom breaks during exams. I know that professors don't tend to like that because of academic integrity concerns, but there are some disabilities that truly warrant that accommodation, such as diabetes, pregnancy complications, or others. Use of a scribe, as we noted, no penalty for spelling errors or assistance with spelling if the assignment focus is not spelling, if it's content. No Scantrons or bubble sheets, like I said, extended time, or no more than a certain amount of hours of testing per day. If final exams are scheduled according to the registrar's schedule, back to back to back, and the student would be testing for 12 hours straight with extended time, then we could ask the professor to let the student test on a different day. Some technology accommodations. As technology is improving, we're noticing that it's actually easier to provide accommodations to students. So digital note-taking in the form of many students bring in smart pens, iPads, tablets, apps. They can help students greatly. Audio and videotaping helps students who can't keep up with the lecture notes. And so they are able to record it and then listen to it at a later time. Professors are allowed, if you would not like the student to record, if you would like to provide them with a recording that contains the entire class lecture and the time, then you can do that as well. Alternate format, now we have ebooks, and I would recommend using ebooks as much as possible, because this does actually give the student the ability to use an app. Google Chrome extensions even are free, that will read aloud the textbook. There are many different tools. Access technology, screen readers, magnifiers, other things that we have at the Learning Center which can assist students. Captioning of videos is a basic part of accessibility. All videos must be captioned or transcribed. So if you post a video of your lecture or an audio clip of your lecture, please use captioning software or use a transcript. There are many different options for this. And having the text actually does help other students as well. Calculators are often recommended for students who have math-related learning disabilities, using a non-programmable calculator for computation and sometimes a formula sheet approved by the professor. Classrooms. So what accommodations might a student have in the classroom environment? Be able to type notes on a computer, which is actually kind of common. Most professors do allow all students to bring laptops and type notes. Wearing a hat in class, it might seem like a peculiar accommodation, but some students need this to avoid fluorescent lighting or for sensory needs. Access to lecture notes. We do not have a note-taking service as some state schools have a note taker assigned, but we simply ask the student to work with a classmate to share notes or to have the professor provide lecture notes. Access to visual aids that are used during the lecture may be awarded, and you would simply send the student the PowerPoint presentation or print that out for them. Some general accommodations that we also have, priority registration. This does not give us the option to kick a student out of a course to put someone with disabilities in the course. It simply means they open up registration earlier for these students. The Learning Center provides the registrar's office with a list of student numbers that are allowed to register 2 weeks earlier than the regular registration just period opens up. ADA accessible classrooms. The Academy building is not ADA accessible. However, we can always move classes around to other buildings, and if you know that you have a student with mobility needs, talk with the Learning Center. ADA accessible parking, there are maps available online, and the reduced course load option as well. You may see that and think, oh no, this is a lockstep program, the student has to take 18 hours, but on their letter it says they have a reduced course load option to take 12 hours. What that means is that you would work with the student, the advisor would work with the student to determine what is the best approach. The student could delay graduation, they could have a delayed program plan or go part-time, but working it out, again, that's an option. The student is not mandated to take a reduced course load. Preferential seating near the front or the back of the class. Some disabilities require the back of the class. Bringing snacks and water to class as needed. Again, certain disabilities would require this. Assignments. Have alternative assignments that will not alter the fundamental objectives or essential course requirements. Some of those might include if a team assignment is required and the person could do that alone, and that's one of the accommodations, then allowing that. That is a rare accommodation. That's not given very often, but may be warranted. Pregnancy. Did you know that pregnancy itself, an uncomplicated healthy pregnancy, is not considered a disability? However, it is covered under the Pregnancy Discrimination Act and Title IX. As we often know, many women will experience complications or restrictions during their pregnancy, and all that is required is the doctor or midwife would need to provide those specific accommodations, recommendations. Women may be restricted from heavy lifting or may need bathroom breaks during testing. So that would be on the letter of accommodations, and it would obviously be temporary accommodations. You would just treat the student the same as another student with a temporary medical condition or a letter of accommodations. Have alternative assignments that will not alter the fundamental objectives or essential course requirements. For example, when I gave birth to my son in junior year of college, my professors worked with me to be able to complete some tests online at home with an online proctor, and so that I would not have to come in the same week that I had given birth. And if you have any other questions at all, feel free to reach out to me at the Brenau University Learning Center. And there's my email, and you can also look through all the different information available on our website. Thank you for attending.